Please be advised that this is merely my opinion through my playthrough. Control is Remedy Entertainment's latest project. In this game, you take control of a character named Jessie, a bit of a loner who's on the search for her kidnapped brother. This search leads her to New York City, where she finds a Federal Bureau of Control. Once inside this bureau, she encounters a threat that they call the Hiss. And while also encountering the threat, she suddenly becomes the director of this bureau. It sounds like a lot. And at first it is, because it's a bit confusing when you get in. She comes in, and all of a sudden, somebody's dead, she's director, and now there's this paranormal thing attacking everybody, and you got to figure out what it is. It sounds like a lot. And in some cases it is. But Control does everything Remedy seems to do best. Deep storytelling and high gun combat, along with a mix of paranormal abilities. Now, this world, it isn't straight linear, you can't just go, you can go through the story just doing story missions, but there's so much to learn about this world within the building that you're stuck in. You see, there are a lot of recordings and collectibles and these items that tell you a deeper story that helps you understand what brought Jessie to this building aside from just her brother. You see, it seems that in Control there's a bit of a branching aspect, meaning Jessie isn't the only person that's been in this building that has these fascinating, out of this world abilities. If you go through the collectibles stuck within the world that you find randomly, you'll see that she wasn't the only one. There are others. There were many others that they were testing and looking into that had, I wouldn't say abilities like her, but had gifts just as effective as hers that they could use to their advantage. The game in itself, the game is an abundance of mystery and wonder. Mix that with great room-destroying combat, and you've got a game that keeps you hooked all the way to the end. Now, that doesn't mean the game doesn't come with its issue. For me, the mission structure is a bit weird, mainly because you'll be given a mission, and I won't say the mission structure. I feel the map is a bit weird. You'll be given an objective, and it's like the game doesn't register that you've accepted this objective, and it kind of just disappears from your face. It causes you to look into the map to find out where you're going. But even then, my issue is the map is a bit weird. It's not your typical map that gives you a waypoint, which is fine. I'm not looking for a map to take my hand and guide me to where I need to go. But sometimes when you're looking for a specific room and you're kind of following the map and looking for a way to get to this room, the game kind of blocks you and gives you a dead end, forcing you to explore a little more. Now, it's a good and a bad thing because it causes you to look into the world that Remedy has built in this one giant building, but it also takes time from you understanding the main story because this dead end is pushing you backwards. And sometimes it feels like, I wouldn't necessarily call it running in a circle, but it is genuinely like running in a circle. If you look at it in an exploration sense, it's not a bad thing because it allows you to see more. It allows you to find collectibles, to understand more of the lore that's in this world. But there are many people who aren't into that kind of thing that this might push them away from purchasing the game. But one of the best things the game offers is the gun combat. The gun combat mixed with your paranormal abilities takes this game to another level. Being able to run around with the spin, which is what your gun variation of an assault rifle is called, and then switching into like a charge rifle and shooting and then jumping up and levitating and ground slamming. It's this mix of such destruction, and it's so much fun when you're in it. To me, that's one of the best aspects of Control. Now, while the storytelling from Remedy is always there, it's always good, and it's always interesting, one of the things that always bothered me was you'll be in dialogue with a character that's advancing the story, through the dialogue. And while Jessie and these characters are conversing, they'll kind of like zoom in into her face, and she'll have a conversation with the entity that's with her that allows her to do these special abilities. But it's more like she's speaking to herself and the entity is listening, and then the camera kind of pans out and goes back to the regular dialogue. And for me, it's kind of it kind of ruins the immersion for me, because it's random. It doesn't feel like it belongs in the story. She'll be let's say Jessie will stop and she'll speak to a character and she'll go, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing?" But then, the camera will zoom into her face, and she'll say in her head, like, "I really care how she's doing." And then you'll see like a little blur from the entity kind of like agreeing with her, and then it'll pan back out and the dialogue will continue. And for me, it's a bit awkward. It kind of feels like it wasn't supposed to be there, but they thought that maybe this will help the immersion with the entity that's with her a lot more. And maybe it does for some people, but for me, it kind of ruined a lot of it kind of ruined a lot of the dialogue and the story being told when that occurred. Also, the dialogue is a little weird. I feel like emotionally certain characters react to certain things really fast, and like out of context. Like if Jessie say, "Hey, how are you?" and somebody will kind of look at her and go, I'm sad," and you're kind of like, "But how did we get to? How are you sad? Like it's weird. Some of the dialogue doesn't feel like it fits, but the game's world is actually one of its biggest strengths. The world, this building is its world. The game takes place in one building, and this building becomes its giant world. And it's interesting because there's so much to this building, and as you go on and explore and complete missions, side missions, or side objectives, whatever it is you're doing, you kind of feel like, it kind of feels like the world within the building is forever changing. It's never the same, but in some ways it really is the same. Watching Jessie walk into new rooms and cleanse these control points. Now, while I played an early copy of the game, I played on my PS4 Pro, a lot of the good things that are there are always going to be there. But as I played without a day one patch, I did run into a lot of technical issues. When too much was going on, whether it was with your abilities or too many enemies or whatever it was, if there was too much going on in one place on your screen, the game would drop frames. Sometimes you would pause the game and unpause, and the game would drop frames severely, and then struggle to get back to it would struggle to go back up to, I believe, 30 frames is where the game is. Even if it's at 60, it would struggle to maintain that after certain actions. Sometimes you would open the map and close it, and the game would stutter for a long time before catching itself back up. And these are technical issues I feel that are fixed with the day one patch, but because I played without that patch, I have to judge the game with those same issues that I've had. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like early Assassin's Creed game where you're glitching through the floor and falling to your death. It's nothing like that, but when the frames of the game drop severely during certain kind of enemy you'll run into when you turn that corner, you don't know if you'll even run into a wave of enemies. You might turn the corner and there'll be nothing. Or you might turn the corner and there'll be this giant boss-like enemy waiting for you, causing you to use all of your abilities to take it down. Or maybe, or just maybe, you'll turn the corner and you'll just hear, the sounds of people screaming for their life. The walls kind of moving into place, the building changing, and it gives you this kind of eerie feeling that you never know what's gonna be around the corner when you turn. Along with the issues of the map, the dialogue issues are a big problem for me as well. I don't want to be taken out of the story because she has an inner thought that she wants to share with the entity that follows her and gives her the abilities that she has. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't help with the story. all in all, Control does everything Remedy does best. Great storytelling, amazing gameplay, an eerie atmosphere that always has you at the edge of your seat, and an interesting world with an interesting amount of lore to keep you invested up until the ending of the game. Of course, the game is not free of problems, but what game isn't free of problems? And whether or not you feel the issues I've had the game are enough to have you not purchase the game, I will say I recommend this game. Whether it's at full price or on sale, I feel that all players who are fans of Remedy and the games it produced, whether it's Max Payne, Alan Wake, or Quantum Break, to give this game a shot. You won't be disappointed, especially as a fan. In the end, I give Control an 8 out of 10. I definitely recommend it, whether full price or on sale or even a rental. I say give the game a shot, support them, and help them make more projects like this weird, out of this world game, you know? But that's been my review of Control on the PS4. I hope you guys enjoyed. How do you feel about this game if you've already played it? Or how do you feel after hearing my review on the game? And are you purchasing the game day one or waiting for a sale? Let me know down in the comments below. Peace.